But I think now that I can think back on it, it was also attacking Susie. But I believe now that it was defending itself in probably the only way it could. And I'm sorry that it happened. You know, I'm sorry that I hit it. Because I wish it was here now.
One more question, if
yes,
you
sir.
can. I'd never really seen this video beforehand, but one...
Nobody else has either,
well,
except San Diego.
Oh, another video that I thought might be related to it, but some years ago there was a video that was said to be, again, Art Bell. Heard a lot of it from his show. They kind of call it or refer it as like an alien interrogation video.
Okay. I don't know anything about that.
It was a fake tape?
I have no idea, sir. I don't know anything about it.
Oh, I was just wondering, has anybody thought about, because we weren't unsure what happened with Freddie afterwards, has anybody thought that might be Freddie?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
So that was done before.
No.
All right.
Thank you. Next.
From this point on, if you could, just one question so we can try to get all you guys in. Thank you.
I find your story so believable, one, because of your emotions, both of you, as you tell your story. It just seems so real. But my one question would be, if I had a story like that, why wouldn't you go to like 60 Minutes or Barbara Walters or something?
Would you believe it?
I would try it just to get it out even more, all the millions of people.
I went to the media during the 9 days. I went to our television station with a videotape that you saw. That videotape was confiscated by the Department of Energy and the Seattle Police Department. I was called by a producer who informed me of that and said, look out for these guys.
Welcome to America.
I could hear your sensitivity towards Freddie, and so this question came up to my mind. Did you ever consider taking him back to the woods so that he might possibly have a chance to live and go back to his, like they do us, they take us back?
I did not consider that, but so much was happening so fast.
No, I mean after he screamed and you found he was alive in the locker later.
He seemed to be very comfortable where he was, and I was afraid to get near him, quite honestly.
At one point, Freddie forcibly shut the freezer, sending Jonathan off balance. This little creature has a tremendous amount of strength.
He was strong like an orangutan.
But you didn't try to meditate and communicate with him and ask him if he wanted to go back?
I tried my best to keep my sanity.
Yes.
And,
I don't mean to sound stupid, but a lot of metaphysicians...
You're not sounding stupid.
Thank you.
And I just reacted as I would if this was an animal, because I felt that it was maimed. I saw the wound. I dressed it. I even closed it up. And it started to heal, which I took for just, as things are in the freezer, things stick together. Well, that's what I thought.
Well, I'm not judging you because I understand so perfectly,
fine.
And I think that you did everything you possibly could. And
You'll
I
understand.
Yes, I do. And seeing you and feeling your empathy,
There
you're
is
beautiful.
There is so much information both in the book and that has yet to come out that will explain much, much more.
Well, thank you for your courage.
Jonathan didn't talk about the visitors he had on day 3 or 4 from the government who told him that if he did have anything extraterrestrial, he should hand it over to them now. And for him to keep his mouth shut. His dog ran away, The trip out into the woods nothing happened.
That explains it all.
And he was told that the next group who came would not be as nice as they were. And the next group that came took everything he had and wiped out his life. And that was a group from NSA, National Security. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say how compassionate that I feel, and I feel really emotional about the cover-up and how it's affected John.
I'm suffering.
He just hasn't got a life anymore, basically.
I'm suffering from post-traumatic stress syndrome.
You know why I'm here? So do I, because don't think it's only America, it's in England.
It's
People murder
everywhere.
people,
Yes,
in a way, I'm standing here now, but I've been murdered. Do you think I can prove my story? No. Even the solicitors are holding back information. Princess Diana was murdered. It's everywhere.
You know,
corruption, power abuse is everywhere.
What I've learned from someone like Sean Atlanti is everybody has something to say about what's happened to them, because this is a global thing. These things happen to a hell of a lot of people, but you know what? 98% of them don't talk. They hide away. What are our mental institutions filled with? Are they really filled with people that just couldn't hack it? Or are they filled with people that were placed there by individuals that didn't want them to talk?
Listen, I've been trying to publish and make my story public. No newspaper has helped me, and it's been very, very hard to live with, because I'm here now. I don't know how long for, but I've been murdered because the
Character assassination is one of the worst things that can ever happen to an individual. Thank you for sharing your story.
Because they didn't listen to me, and they didn't do what they should have done in time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for your presentation, and I don't judge you. And I think that even if you had brought Freddie with you and he were sitting over there with you, that you would still have to have some
We'd
problems.
have to prove it.
Some people here.
Yeah.
I believe that some people should watch The Insider, which was about 60 minutes. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's the reason why you couldn't bring it over there. Of course.
They're not there to present this kind of material. That's
Of
not what they're
course.
for. The closest 60 Minutes has ever gotten to being real about anything is when they did a very obscured, very rarely seen, but it's in their archives, video or show on the black corporations, which they've never shown again in any form.
Right, and if I just wonder how much people cannot believe these sort of issues, and then they can believe about killings of thousands and thousands of people all over the world in the name of freedom, democracy. But they cannot believe this, which is a lot of evidence, a lot more than mainstream news media showing.
A little over 3 years ago,
Right. How much does it take?
I would have never believed this myself.
I think the material that you're presenting is extremely convincing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've had a camera, video camera, and I've recorded with a video camera, and I can hear my voice. I don't need to have this microphone. We don't have the same kind of microphone on a video camera.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And I wonder if you
Sir?
are cooperating
Sir?
with Dr. Greer.
We haven't talked to Mr. Greer yet, but we will. Thank you.
Jonathan, my name is Donald Ware. We all have great empathy with you, and I think many of us here would have done the same thing you did.
Thank you.
I have studied the human reaction to the alien presence for 48 years. I spent 26 years in the Air Force. I know that the Robertson panel codified the U.S. government policy on that issue in 1953, which generally said it is in the national interest to keep the public from getting too excited about the alien presence. Mm-hmm. And I was in the service long enough to know that when we develop a national policy, we develop procedures in order to implement that policy. The best I've got them figured out is that first they put an aura of ridicule around the whole subject to keep people from talking too much.
It worked on
And
me 5 years ago.
It worked very well for a long time and is still working on some people. If there are people who have things to say that would cause the public to get too excited, I personally believe that not everybody is ready for the alien presence because of their whatever their spiritual
Awareness.
reason for being
Sure.
here is. But
I agree.
Step 2 is close surveillance and combined with threats, often threats of life. Mm-hmm. And close surveillance means being watched while you know you're being watched.
They're here now.
If that does